Well, hello, and welcome to our next episode of On the Couch with Lisa B. as we break a hot story. I'm sitting here with Mr. Elijah Green and Mr. David Cook, and the topic today is Dream Shattered. Hi, Mr. Green. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Well, why don't we start with your story? Both men actually have similar stories, but it's so unbelievable that this type of thing is going on in this day and age is that I had to have both men on the show to talk about it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Green. I know that you're a veteran and of 21 years.
Yes, I spent 21 years in the United States military, and I served most of my time in the Asian countries, Thailand, Vietnam, Japan, Korea, and most of those countries. I served up until 1988.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then after 1988, what did you do?
Well, from all that I have learned over the 21 years in the military, I really wanted to put something together and give back to my country. So what I decided to do was open a fitness facility, an athletic fitness, and it was designed for entire families, but mostly to fight that obesity, childhood obesity. I find that a lot of our kids, they're not getting the fitness that they need, not getting the nutrients that they needed. So that was one of my goals, was to open a facility where they can come and work out, instructional type programs, and address those issues that our nation faces.
You said something that was profound to me when I met you. You said you want to stop letting them look at action heroes, but go ahead, but you wanted them to become an action hero.
Exactly. They sit on the couch. A lot of them sit on the couch and they give the finger work and they watch and play the games, and they enjoy that. Many of them sweat. I can look in the eyes and see that they really want to become that figure. And that's what they need to be. That's another reason why I opened the program, so they could get out there and run, jump, and challenge themselves. That's what they want, but we have to make it available to them.
Okay, so what's going on with the gym?
Well, I used to own Green Valley Health Fitness. I owned it for approximately, less than 2 weeks before the city shut it down. It was kind of a sad story. We had customers that really enjoyed our program. That was coming in, was building up. And the problem was this. There was a large commercial developer that had eyes on that facility, which we were in, and they were fighting against the landlord of that facility. Now, none of this I knew of. And it boiled down to where the city mentioned that they had gotten a call-in complaint from someone stating that we were not an athletic company. Now, we had applied for license, and we got it through the city, and we annotated everything that we was going to do there. We were within the coding, but this complaint seems to override anything that was listed on our application. So the city sent out a letter revoking my license.
So who made the complaint?
Up to this date, I'm really not sure. And when we met with the Planning Commission, we did have to meet the board to determine whether we were an athletic company or a child care or karate studio or a personal fitness studio. And the Planning Commission voted in our favor 4-1 that we are actually an athletic company. We had everything that a normal athletic company would have.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw it, and the pictures were phenomenal of the athletic company that you had. It was beautiful. So as it stands, anyone can just make an anonymous call, and you don't even have due process. That was to face the person that made the anonymous call, and they can have your license revoked.
It seems to be that case. We should be able to address that. But one thing I'd like to mention is that the vice mayor, he came down to visit our facility And his words was, oh, I don't know why we're shutting this facility down. This facility meet all the requirements of an athletic company. We should not be doing that. And, you know, so it kind of like went that way. The city took on the fight of whomever that was that made the complaint. 100% of the fight, they took it through the Planning Commission. They took it all the way to the City Council up until my license was revoked. Now, the situation is that they got what they want. The landlord, she could not make the payments because she didn't have a tenant that could make the payments to her because I had no customers. Now the developer, he moves right in, he takes the property.
Okay, but let's go back a little bit to your license. So you had the license that said you were an athletic facility. So, and then they just took it back and said we don't want you to be licensed.
What they tried to do, because they were more in favor of the developer having this piece of property, they had to figure out some way to get me out of there. So their way was to try to reclassify my business from an athletic club to a child care, karate studio, personal studio. That's just what they claim it to be, a personal studio. And the definition of that, they can't even tell me the definition between an athletic company and personal studio.
Okay, so what was it like? I know you went to the commissioner's office and they were in favor of you. Then you had to go before the city. What happened there?
Well, when we walked in the door, we presented our case. The city council never even heard our case. They didn't even listen. To me, it seems like their minds was already made up. We have a legitimate case here. I'm a law-abiding citizen here. I have a right, do I have the right to go into business? And if I have violated any of the codes, I expect it to be brought to my attention. Let's correct it. What can we do to correct you rather than to cut you off?
So you weren't allowed that process either? No code enforcement people, no list was made, anything like that to tell you this is what you need to do to be in compliance with your business license? They just revoked on a phone call?
That's correct. Their main concern was to get me out of that facility. And I had signed a 5-year contract there. And
so were you refunded your money?
I lost everything I had.
My God.
Now, I had saved up while I was in the military to do this venture and to lose everything I've got. Is that America? It doesn't sound like America to me. And, you know, being there fighting the war for our country and to come back home and fight another war for equality, I don't feel too good about that. And it's not about the money.
I understand.
Like I said, this fight is not about the money. It's about the principle of the whole matter.
Absolutely.
And
it's the principle of public money being used on behalf of one person to put somebody else out of business. That's unbelievable.
I think it happens all the time where people in those offices, there's no transparency, no one to look over their shoulder. There seems to not to abide by the law. Maybe the law doesn't apply to them. I don't know. But I don't feel very comfortable with that. And that's not the way it really should be here. Not in America, not anywhere, for this kind of treatment.
So how did you find out your license was revoked? Did they send you a paper in the mail? How did that process go? What is it like? How do you know when your license is just revoked?
Well, actually, I got a call from them, and they mentioned that my license was revoked. And following it, within a few days later, I received a formal letter stating that my license was revoked. And then later, we found out this letter was an illegal letter. It didn't go through the proper channels. It was straight from someone's desk. Matters like this should go through a process. It should be heard by the council, but yet it was not. It's just so much legality going on now that's just swept up under the rug. And I like to bring these issues to surface. I think it needs to be brought to surface.
It needs to be. That's why we're here today. David, why don't you tell us about your experience? I know it's not the same experience, but it's a similar experience.
Well, what impelled me to with Seafood after hearing his story.
What? Explain the name Seafood.
Okay, I'm sorry. Seafood, like Kung Fu master. So we always call him. This man's incredible in the art, and we met at his gym and in the martial arts and working out and training with him and watching how he's been working with the kids. I kind of grown a big, large energy toward his movement and what he's been doing. And what I've been through, it's a similarity that happened in the city of Vallejo, where I had a facility, was the Vallejo Performing Arts Center, which in return, doing stuff for the youth and bringing kids to be able to have memberships, and it got so political because really they wanted the name Vallejo Performing Arts Center. And in the end, that's exactly what happened. It's the end results of these cases that surface in the end. So you kind of predict them, and it actually happens. We went to court. The grand jury stepped in on it, and it was a big battle. And the fact is, you deal with so many crooked individuals in the upper city officials that it's not fair to the community. And like we talked about earlier, most everybody has an open checkbook of taxpayers' money. So if you all of a sudden go against the city, it's nowhere in the world you're going to win based on financial reasons, because they have an open checkbook based upon the taxpayers' money. So when I heard Elijah Green's situation, it compelled me to move forward and get behind him 100%. And I tell you what, after hearing his story and watching some of the things and being with him at the council meeting, and watching the mayor, the vice mayor come in and actually look at his facility and actually say that what they were doing was wrong. And what kind of bothered me the most, that none of the council members actually went down there to take a look themselves. And if you have the vice mayor giving his recommendation, that means they just overlooked his recommendation. He's the vice mayor, and pretty much they already had it what they were going to do, and it was appealed by the developer. So that right there tells you there was some kind of hidden agenda. And the same thing on my end. That it was more an agenda to put me into an injunction to go to court and tie me up in criminal and civil suits that I would have to battle for a term to just get my name back. And like he said, it's the principle. It's the principle, because you know what? If it's going to happen to me, it's going to happen to him. It's going to happen to many other business owners out there that I feel that should not have to go through this. If you're a small business, it's hard enough just to make ends meet. And then you have to go through the permit processes. It's like a monopoly. These fees that they charge you and they control you, it's like they keep themselves in business based upon charging high fees and making it difficult. If you want to put a door up, you're going to have to get a whole site map just to put a door up. That's not helping the community. And they could have helped him. They could have actually said, this is what you actually need to do, Absolutely. Mr. Elijah Green. This is what you should do. They didn't do any of that. They actually sent him back and basically just cut the door on him, just cut the cord and say, you're done. We don't want to see no more activities. And one of the biggest things is when they took it to the bankruptcy court, and that's when he first realized that his license was revoked, is because the judge turned to him and said, well, your license is revoked. You're operating illegally. It was a shock to him, but just to go to show you that they did everything in their everything in their power to be able to structure this way to go against him, and to be able to get that letter into the judge at that time, that was wrong, right there. And then we went back to go, when the judge said, well, go get your license and prove to me you have it. When he went back, these guys gave him a runaround. They sent him to almost 3 departments. They sent him to the finance department.
So that's when he got the phone call saying that his license was revoked.
Right.
So he actually had to show up. Oh, okay, let me get this right. So he showed up someplace not knowing his license was revoked to take
Exactly.
care of the business, to keep the establishment.
Right.
Then after he started digging, then they told him his license is revoked.
Right.
So then he makes phone calls, and they return his phone call and tell him his license is revoked and follow it up with paperwork, but never sending paperwork out when they originally revoked the license.
No, they did. They basically they had to do this all in one time period. So they had to rush to get this documentation into him because they knew they had a window time, because he was going to court for that bankruptcy situation.
Right.
Right. So basically, when the judge told him, he gave him the opportunity to go back and get his license to prove that his license was still valid, he went back there and they told him that his license was never revoked.
So
this man has
this
shut
is
down.
not funny, but
No,
this is crazy.
It's crazy. I'm looking at, what do you mean it wasn't revoked?
So the judge is saying it's revoked.
Because of what he got from the letter that had got into the
So that means they were
court.
already planning it, but
Right.
had not executed it
Exactly.
yet.
So that was obvious.
That was a formal letter.
Yeah, it was a formal letter.
Formal letter stating that my license was revoked, typed up on someone's
Letterhead.
But
computer from his desk, not going through the process. The city, I think they stepped out of line, beyond their line of duty, and making this happen. In fact, giving a letter to the bankruptcy court, it should not have gone there.
no, it should have never went there. And then when
Never.
when he went back to get
To
it,
influence.
they stamped it, right? But they didn't put it on letterhead. It was like one of those kind of, the school teacher stamp. They put one of those on it and sent him on his way.
So it was on printer paper.
It was just on a piece of paper.
That's what I'm saying, a piece of
Printer
printer
pa- yeah.
paper.
And so the judge is like, I can't take this. It doesn't have the letterhead and nothing on it. So we go back. We had to actually go to the mayor's office. And the mayor was like, whatever you got to do, you need to take care of this. And get this
That's
man.
what he said to them.
Yeah. Whatever
get
he
him
did,
his license.
they came out, and the man who really issues the license came out and gave him his license.
And said it wasn't revoked from the beginning.
It wasn't revoked from the beginning. So all this downplay on his business, downtime, waste of time, false accusations against him that he was a daycare and all this other stuff. And one of the really things that compelled me is this:
With a daycare, with a treadmill.
with a treadmill.
And you could lift whatever it's called, bike and
exactly.
and yoga
You can do
equipment and all
yoga,
this.
what is it, Zumba, whatever you want to do.
All they had to do is ask me, ask me, what are you doing there? And I would be glad to explain
That's
it.
what they didn't
And that's what I
contact
did. They didn't listen. They already had their minds made up.
But you know what got the most?
It was about the land,
It's about the property, yes.
right?
the
And the
biggest
dollars,
thing, too, is that when he the funniest thing, the more I think about this, his
Wow.
license was taken 2 weeks from the time he opened. Now get this. So they went down there real quickly and heard me get a write-up. That's their tactics. And he haven't even moved in yet. So you don't know what I haven't even moved in yet. I'm a hamburger place, but I haven't even moved my fryers in yet. I'm McDonald's, but I haven't put my sign up. So you're going to tell me I'm not McDonald's.
And you haven't, and I don't have my stuff in yet.
I don't have my stuff in yet, but it was on its way. You're not a gym. You don't have lockers. You don't have any equipment. Yeah, but this is in my plan I gave you. So I have to rush now to ever get my stuff in. And once he did that, once he got everything to him, as you can see in the pictures,
Right.
all the gym stuff was in there. And they tried to say karate is not a sport. But on the use permit it said,
Don't they have tournaments?
yes, it's a sport. We pulled up this is a presidential report for national what businesses are, and it said karate is definitely a sport. The use permit said
A worldwide sport.
the world of sports, ESPN,
Uh-huh.
any what is it?
Any sports
athletic-
activities, yeah.
any sports activity that should have been allowed there in that building, no matter what. So how are you going to say you are a personalized training studio or you are a gym? What difference does it make? 24 hours now, let's do it all day long.
The planning commission had already made a determination.
Yeah. They should have respected that. Those are the men who make the plans. The
Right.
council members came in and just looked at it, and they already in mind said, we're going to vote on that? Okay, he's not a gym. It was just that simple. It's like a slap in the face.
It seems to be not a city fight, but the city took on this fight for someone else.
I understand what you're saying. The
They took on this
developer.
fight, but they stepped out of line in doing so. The ones that the people in those positions that are working for us, I'm hoping that they keep really the little people like us in mind. In a lot of cases, not true.
Because it can happen. It can happen. Say I decide I want to open up an academic center somewhere.
Exactly.
And as soon as I buy all my stuff and invest all my money and everything, someone says, I think I like that building.
Exactly.
Then all of a sudden I'm out of business.
And lost all your savings.
And lost all my stuff. I'll be mad about my money. It'd be
Well-
more than principle.
Well, I was more. I mean, he's calm.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I was furious when I seen this because it just gave me. It took me back down memory lane to watch the tactics of how city officials work.
I know you were telling me this term. What is it? Bootstrapping?
Yeah, I learned it from an attorney. It's called bootstrap. It's when city officials they strap together like to pass a favor to another favor, and it feel like because they're doing it for job security. So most like the fire department, if he knows somebody, say I need you to go down there and check this out. But this is what's happening. So they already kind of prefabricate a story in their mind. It's I got it. So when they go to this place, they already got this preset in their mind that they're going to shut you down, no matter what it's going to be. And you have to go through this. You have to go through this fight. I remember going to the council member over and over and over again. If it wasn't for Foster Hicks at that time to say, put it on the agenda, to say, can you guys please go and find out what he needs to do so you guys can stop harassing this man.
Wow.
He's not getting that kind of support. He's now getting ready to go to court. I'm glad he followed through. It has been a journey, and the fact that he's now getting ready to go to trial in August. This can be a breaking point for a lot of people that are starting a business. I want to say some too, Lisa, is that when you say Wade versus Roe, Elijah Green versus the city, Dave Cook McCall versus the city. What that is, this is now something of document in history.
Absolutely.
You
It's
see, so that somebody else can use it as a reference.
It's called setting the precedents.
If you go back to my records now, it's not there.
Explain how that works.
It's called a Sunshine Act to documents like when we went down to Times Herald, all those documents, you should be able to go through archives in the library and to pull up these documents. All the propaganda that they put on you is now become public record. The grand jury report, you can't even get it. That's a document you should be able to go to archive and get the grant. Now,
So they classify everything.
Exactly.
So that you can't see how it was done, so that if you have to go through the process, you're not able to do it, you have to start from square one.
Square one.
My God.
And nobody else can use you as an example. Like this person versus that, and this was the outcome. It is really, and you know what? To be humiliated by the officials, it's actually like a tactic. The code enforcement officers basically act upon it, and they bring the police in. You might be one single person, but they have 5 or 6 officers that come and make you like a nuisance. So now you feel like you're a criminal. Sit on the curb. Where are we at? Are we in America? Are we in like Russia? Where are we? What time and age are we at right now? They doing him like that? They did me like that? They would arrest me for no reason. I would go to court, and I wouldn't even be on the schedule. Totally just wasting my time. I wouldn't be on the agenda. I would be on the schedule. What are you doing here?
They're just giving you the runaround, trying to wear you out.
I bail out. That's how it was. The key was 415s, 49 counts of noise violations that I didn't even create. How do you get 49 counts of noise violations? And then they had to. This is how funny it works, and how they split the decision. Either you made the noise or you didn't make the noise. And when only one witness come in, and she said that I had a hearing problem. So how you gonna complain about noise violations when the judge had to ask you again? Well, can you state your name for the record? She said, I can't hear too well.
That's the witness.
That's the witness, the only witness.
A noise violation?
Noise violation.
They
That's what this is
wasted.
all about.
So,
And getting and stepping, having kids in a handicap.
so they
zone.
firing teachers, closing schools.
Major.
Okay,
Stopping
can't buy
football
books,
activities.
letting criminals out of jail.
Right.
Okay, so they could prosecute you for a noise violation.
That's what. And do you know the jury, the people they selected, most of them said, what are we here for? It didn't even make sense.
49 counts of noise violation. No.
They just wanted to stack the counts up. And today, you know what, as a promoter, it excelled me to move forward to promote more. Actually, believe it or not, it put a little more fire to me for stuff like what he's doing. To hear what he's going through, the pain he's going through. I can feel it. I've been there.
It's crushing. It's crushing to have somebody come and have that much power over you to be able to crush your whole life. Your whole life. Let me ask you something, Mr. Green.
Yes.
In the end, because the gym is gone now, in the end, what do you want from these people?
Well, I want them to admit their wrongdoings, and I like being reimbursed for my losses.
I heard that.
Took quite a bit of a loss, and that's basically what I would like. That's what I would like to see done. Most of all, I like for those of you out there that have gone through a situation like this, is to stand up as well. You know, it doesn't make sense that people have to go through these type of situations. We have lots of criminals. We see them every day. We deal with them every day. But we have a lot of them at the top too that perform all these criminal acts, but they get away scot-free, and that's not right.
Wow.
What I would like to have is equality, mostly, and to set an example for our youth, knowing that they don't have to always take a backseat to things.
Wow.
If you see where it's wrong, no matter where it is, at our level, at the top level, make sure that it is known.
It's just heartbreaking when you want to serve, when you have a need to serve humanity, when you're doing what God put you here to do before the foundation of the earth, and the enemy just comes and steps on you like that. You know what I'm saying? And takes away your dream, not for profit, but to serve. To see a need in somebody. Childhood obesity, isn't that the thing that Michelle Obama is doing? Yes, it's
exactly.
You know what? Childhood obesity is rampant, and we see these children with diabetes, heart problems. They're on insulin. I don't know who's gonna run track and field because everybody got roles.
Exactly, and this is where we want to head it off. We know that either we pay the price now or we're going to pay it later.
Yes.
And we can prevent a lot of that. Very simple. Now, I pay for this all out of my own pocket. I didn't ask for any
no
type of
grants,
nothing whatsoever.
Just your savings.
And the support of people. That's what I need. And they support it. Our program started off very strongly. Within the first week, it would have been very successful. The kids love it. They would cry, not wanting to leave.
When I look at the YouTube pictures, tell us about what it was like to try to get into your business and your whole road was closed off and you had a trench in front of your business with rebar on it.
Well, for some reason, I guess they saw a need to block things off. They did have some construction going there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was legitimate or not, but they did block off.
Did they send
entrance.
you a letter telling you that this was going to happen?
I did get a letter. In fact, one of the gentlemen from the construction crew did come down. But my question was, couldn't we reroute that in a more logical way that it wouldn't prevent my customers from coming in? And he decided not to do that. It was very simple. They wanted to redirect my customers all the way through another development into the back of their construction area. Equipment, nails, screws, and glass.
And children, or what?
Yes.
You were catering to children.
Entire families, yeah.
Right,
families
right.
and children, yes.
And so they wanted the children to walk through the rebarb and the nails.
Well, they wanted us to not even to enter the area.
Right.
That was designed for, and often I would go and the gates was closed, and I would ask, um, um, may I get in? And then the workers would have to locate their boss, and their boss have to decide whether they're going to let me in. It may take an hour, sometimes 2 hours of waiting just to get into my business. Many of times I had to
Wow.
turn around and go back. Many of times the close sign was there on the fence.
And you have paying customers.
Lady popped her tires, and put a claim in the
I lost
city.
my
And she still
customers.
got paid back yet.
I had lost my customers. I'm hoping that none of them will come back in the screen. I cannot. I mean, I don't have the funds to even pay them from what's been taken away. It really put me in a financial difficulty, not only that, but all around, because minute. I took all of my savings, all the money I had, I put into this. This was something that I believed in. This was something I had passion, and this is something that I knew that I could do for my country. To have the doors closed like that, I'm not really comfortable with that. Not at all.
You shouldn't be.
You know,
You
one
shouldn't be.
big thing too, and I know he might as well say, but the fact that this man, I don't know, he served his country, but he got Agent Orange behind it, and you were speaking about some of the illnesses, and Mr. Green, I mean, for him to be going through what he's going through right now, I give thumbs up to this brother for really putting the energy and what he's going through. Actually, the devastating blows that they're giving him, and he's still standing back up. I mean, dialysis.
But you know what? Let's backtrack a minute, because a lot of our viewers are younger, and they might not understand the whole coming out of Vietnam and the Agent Orange. Can somebody elaborate? Can you, Mr. Green, elaborate on the whole Agent Orange situation?
Yes, during the Vietnam era, Vietnam War, I volunteered to go in, and I did serve in Vietnam. And Agent Orange is a chemical. It's a pesticide that our government used to kill plants, so that, well, that's where the enemy hides.
Germ warfare.
Yes,
Germ
they hide
warfare.
behind the plants and the trees and things like
Chemical
this.
warfare.
By using a chemical to kill it, that's why they would get to find them. But they spray this by aircraft, and that stuff doesn't discriminate. The Viet Congs, they breathe it, so do we. So we breathe it. So that's what caused my diabetics and my kidneys to fail as well, and heart disease. So every other day I have to I have to go into the medical, and they transfuse my blood for 4 hours straight, from 6 in the morning to about 10 to 11 o'clock during the day. Now that's 4 hours each day, 3 hours a day, 12
As a
hours a
result
week.
of serving the country and being exposed to chemical
For
warfare.
the rest of my life, this is what I'm going to have to go through, and the medications. And mind it that not only the kidneys have failed, but diabetics as well, type 2 diabetics, and then heart disease. Now, I don't feel too bad about that. I served my country. I volunteered to do that. You know, I willingly did that. But it bothers me when I can't come home, you know, and open a simple business to continue to help our people. That's what really bothers me, more than
Bothers
anything
me.
else. You know, I fought the war there. Now I have to come home and fight another war between those that may have a little hatred in their hearts or motivated by money. It bothers me. This is not the America I used to know.
Amen. So in closing, I know that you're going to win. I know that you're going to triumph over this situation, and I know that you're going to be blessed, and then I know in the end that you're going to open something up that's going to be dynamite, and you're going to be able to serve your community. And if anyone else, question is directed to both of you. If you can give anybody else who wants to serve, who is facing a serious injustice or has just gone through the same thing or something similar that you have gone through, what would you like to tell them?
I like to tell them, keep their heads up, keep pressing forward. Make sure that you let others know what you're going through, and stand up for your rights.
I agree with him. I think your destiny is is already ordained. I mean, this is something that God has over. This is His vision for you to be there, and then you have an evil entity shut you down or block you from getting where you got to go. I think the most important thing is, like you said, keep your head up, don't give up, you know, and keep yourself focused on moving forward, because you can fall down just like falling off a bike, but you got to get back up and keep riding. And I've learned that when you, like now, I feel good that it taught me a lesson on the fighting procedures of that, so that I can help brothers like Mr. Green, and he can do the same thing, and we can just keep moving on. But right now, this is a good thing, and I'm glad. Thank you, Lisa, sitting on the couch with Lisa B, Cast Down Imagination TV, for giving us the opportunity to be able to share our stories with everybody.
I thank you for coming in, sharing, and giving me the opportunity to let people see that you know what, serving humanity is always not an easy thing when you have a vision. It takes some perseverance and a lot of obstacles and a lot of evil sometimes. Mm-hmm. You have to face a lot of evil sometimes to be triumphant. And I just want to say, job well done to both of you men for going on in spite of, you know, because you're going to pave a way for a lot of people to be able to move on and do what they need to do. And I would just want to say to all the viewers that please, if you see these men in their struggles, support. If you're going through the same thing, don't lay down, but fight for what's yours. Don't give up on the vision. And welcome to, and thank you for tuning in to Cast Down Imagination TV. Go ahead, Mr. Green.
All right, I'm still meaning to cross you, but I would like to say that we do have a website that they may go to.
Please share your information, both of you. Please share your information.
They would look up on YouTube, in fact, Green Valley Health Fitness versus the city of Fairfield, and they'll give you a pretty wide overview
as
to what
the
we're going through.
movie zine site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right now, thank God we could be able to push the Go Green with Movie Zine campaign, and I've kind of moved my direction more to the Mother campaigns, solar concerts, solar products, to kind of help the environment. So that's where I'm at right now, and we got a facility downtown Fairfield, 1127 West Texas Street, and this is what my dedication is giving back to companies and businesses so that they can move forward and with their dreams and making things happen. So you can visit our website at www.moviezinenetwork.com. Thank you.
And actually, this is where we shoot our programs. This is where he allows us to have our studio. David is also my webmaster. He's also my webmaster, and he is actually the first person to hear about the vision. I walked in when I wanted to do Cast Down Imagination with my nosy self, walked in and said, "Oh, this is what do you do?"
With all the books in your head.
With all my books in my hands, and can I sit down and talk to you a minute? And he was one of the few people who thought I wasn't crazy. So God bless you, Mr. David.
Stewardship.
Stewardship.
And you taught me that.
That's it.
She's
only on the couch with Mr. I was going to say on the couch with Mr. B. God, it's been a long day. I done worked and everything before I sat on this couch. Okay.
Well, people got to know that you do a lot too. I mean, you run your day business. You know what? I do want to say this as we go out. What really inspired me to get behind Ms. Bryant is her consistency. You know, she taught me a lot. She cracked the whip. She stayed on top of it. But her dream is manifesting, and you have to. You gotta applaud her for that. And you know, so I definitely want to give you your props as well, because to do what you do in the day and run your janitorial service, and then be able to come back at night and be here filming, and you know, this set is not cheap. You come out of your pocket, you make it happen, and give everybody an opportunity to make stuff work. So, you know, you guys definitely support her. Keep supporting her. Things always get better in time, and right now she's on her way. So embrace her. Look out, Oprah.
And go green.
Go green with Movie Zine.
Okay, so we're going to close out the show. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of On the Couch with Lisa B, with Mr. Elijah Green and Mr. David Cook. And be blessed, and may God bless you. Continue to serve. In Jesus' name. Cat.
Can we do a